The Buffalo Bills have signed Allen to a 6-year, $258 million mega contract extension. This comes just 1 year after he tossed 37 touchdowns and led the Bills to an AFC Championship bout against the Kansas City Chiefs. Fellas, does this cement the Bills' place as the AFC East's powerhouse for years to come? And more broadly, does it cement them as an NFL powerhouse for years to come?
Nick, I'm going to let you take this as our Bills expert here.
You're going to let me take it?
Yes.
Well, powerhouse, I don't know, because there's still room to grow in building around Josh Allen and seeing how well this team develops. But is he someone who can drive the bus on a powerhouse? Absolutely. There was a few things that I wanted to read off here just in terms of the season that Josh Allen just had, okay? So set a single season franchise record, passing touchdowns, completions, 300-yard games, passer rating, completion percentage. Remember that when Josh Allen couldn't hit the broadside of a barn? How about passing yards and total touchdowns? Only player in NFL history with 4,000 or more passing yards, 30 or more passing touchdowns, and 8 or more rushing touchdowns in a season. That's how good Josh Allen was this year. Like, I don't know that people understand how good he was, and save for what was a historic season out of Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen walks away with the MVP. Like, he was better than Lamar Jackson was in 2019 when he won his MVP. So, you know, there's a lot to the improvement and the success that the Bills have had behind Josh Allen, and it's really correlated. But powerhouse, I don't know. I mean, they still are looking up at the Kansas City Chiefs, who are the standard of the AFC right now. So can they really go on a run in winning the AFC East? I think so. I think Miami is a number 2, but they still have to figure out what they're going to get from Tua Tagovailoa and the rest of that team, though improving. New England, you factor and figure will be better when you bring in some of the pieces that they've brought in, but still a quarterback situation that is very much up in the air. Is Mac Jones going to be a guy that you can rely on going forward? Because I don't think Cam Newton is. It's surprising to me that they even brought him back, but he is back in the fold and will be quarterbacking them. And then you've got the Jets, who are the Jets, and what are things going to look like there? But certainly nothing that's going to be coming around this year in terms of market and improvement. So I would have to believe that the Bills are in a driver's seat, in a spot where they can continue to win the AFC East for the next few years and are the best team right now. But a gold standard is still Kansas City, and that's what they're working to overcome and working to beat. But I think Josh Allen has shown that through the first 3 years, he's only going to get better. I think that's going to continue into year 4. And that's what makes this type of player so exciting, because year 1 to year 2, huge jump. Year 2 to year 3, a jump that's never been seen in NFL history before. And he's going to continue to get better. And all accounts in training camp for the Bills are that he looks even sharper than he did last year. So this is a guy who is deservedly getting paid, and getting paid for what he's going to do. That's what Josh Allen talked about in his post-contract signing press conference. The Bills aren't paying me for what I've done. They're paying me for what they think I can do. And the Bills' expectation is that is going to eventually end in a Super Bowl.
I love that you said that, Nick, because, I mean, obviously, like you kind of read off there, Josh Allen had an incredible season, but the fact that he's still thinking about what he can do more for this team and what he can provide, which obviously the goal still is to at least make it to the Super Bowl and get past the Kansas City Chiefs, like you mentioned. So the fact that Josh Allen has that thought process of, sure, last season happened and it was great and I made great strides, but there's more for me to do and there's more out there. That's huge. And I think another thing too is that you mentioned is Josh Allen is, I don't want to say underrated, but people aren't thinking about how good he was and how good of a season he had. Maybe this move and showing that the Bills front office trusts in Josh Allen for the future kind of shows how important he is to this organization, not just last year, not just this coming year, but 6 years, as you mentioned, down the road. So that's something that you got to think about as well. I mean, I think the Bills are in really good hands with a guy like Josh Allen that's going to continue to work hard, continue to get better, make those strides, those improvements. And locking him up long term is really going to help this team challenge the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that a challenge that not a lot of teams are up for. But I really do think this Bills team is up for challenging them, especially with Josh Allen at the quarterback position.
Josh Allen, great season last year, has Stephon Diggs by his side again this year. Should be interesting to see if they can take on Kansas City.